All right, the Detroit Lions signed an athletic freak that we need to talk about before training camp opens up, and it's Gavin Holmes. Plus, we'll talk about Tate Ratledge. He's not signed yet, and we're getting ready to start training camp here, so I'll give you the update on that. But Gavin Holmes from Texas, and defensive back, let's go. The thing about him, like, all right, we don't really, I don't know, do we need defensive backs? Like, where are we at with that? We'll look at that as well. But here's the thing about him. He started at Wake Forest for 3 years, and then his final year he transferred over to Texas. No, for 2 seasons, sorry. Played 30 games, and here's what's exciting about him is he's 5'11", 180, reportedly ran a 4.3 40, 4.38, 40-inch vertical. It's like, okay. Players and coaches called him a heck of a ball player that can play both press man and off coverage as a boundary and on field side corner. Only had 2 interceptions and has a light frame, and his shuttle and cone times were good but not elite like his 40-yard dash. So he signed a UDFA contract with $85,000 guaranteed. So to get a little bit of that guaranteed money, says we kind of want you and want to see some things going on here. And so he's got great speed, pretty good coverage, has athletic traits that both coaches and peers are like, this dude's got something. But because he was at Wake Forest, nobody really knew about him. Then he comes to Texas, kind of hops on the scene. It's like, ooh, okay, but not enough to really get drafted. So it's like, okay, so this is something, again, as Lions fans, we're looking at the whole roster going into training camp. Of course, the priorities for me, at least, and let me know in the comments what you're looking forward to. It's like offensive line. Duh. When the pads come on, what do we got? Who's lining up on the offensive line? That's why Tate Ratledge. That update I'll give you in just a second. Defensive line, Aiden Hutchinson, Marcus Davenport. That's the thing I want to look at, number 2. And then the defense as a whole, secondary though especially, because we know we got Taron Arnold and Enos Rakestraw coming back for a second year. How much more have they improved? And then what's the depth behind them? Because we know we've got Amik Robertson, but he's more of our go-to slot. So we're going to need somebody to kind of be the backup depth pieces. So let me pull up our depth right now for the secondary and show you kind of where we're at. Secondary-wise, we got Khalil Dorsey. Forgot about him. What great player. Avonte Maddox that we got from Philadelphia. I like those 2 guys a lot. And then we have to just kind of see what the safety position looks like, because Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch couldn't be any better. And then Dan Jackson, maybe, rookie. Ian Kennelly, undrafted free agent out of Grand Valley. So there's some things, and this is what's fun about looking at training camp, right? Because we kind of know there's 53 guys make the team. We know 47 of them, just like that. It's like, who's those other guys going to make the team? What's that practice squad look like? What are some things like that? And by the way, we'll just talk about Tate Ratledge and what's going on there. The Tate Ratledge situation is this. If you haven't been following, the Texans, so first-round picks all get guaranteed deals. Second-round picks don't get guaranteed deals. They're slotted some degree. But the Houston Texans, who had picked second in the second round, give that guy a fully guaranteed contract. Boom, done. So then the Browns, who picked right before them, the first pick in the second round, they gave their guy a fully guaranteed deal because they're like, well, I guess we got to do it. And now everybody else in the second round, all those players are like, yeah, I want that too. It's like, well, it's not really what we do. And so it's just caused this like, oh, okay. Well, now it's starting to make news because we are starting to get into the training camp situation, the whole thing. My thought is that I got a solution, and that is just give him a fully guaranteed deal. Second round pick. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it doesn't work, then screwed up anyway. So we will. We'll figure it out. We'll prorate it, like not prorate it, or what's it called when you give them more years on their contract, right? So it's less right up front, but it's like, all right, year 5 when you're not even gonna be on the team, or possibly not, we'll give you another $1 million, then another $1 million 2020 in year 6 or whatever. I don't know. Not too worried about it at all. Tate Ratledge is such a huge part of what we're doing now. All of a sudden, it's crazy because he was going to be this like cool depth piece, guard for sure. Like, start at guard. If nothing else, like he's going to be a great depth piece. All of a sudden, we need you, and you're possibly playing center to replace Frank Ragnow. Dude, it's just getting crazy. Need you, Tate. Okay. PFF and Sportsbook did a over-under win totals. Kind of interesting. See the Lions here at 10.5. I mean, the Lions have a first-place schedule. Second hardest schedule in the league. So it depends. I don't know what the Bears and the Vikings are going to be, or the Packers. Honestly, you don't know what. Packers just get put up on this pedestal like there's something great, and we've just been spanking them the last few years. And I'm like, all right, and Jordan Love, what is he? I mean, seriously, we don't know. We really don't know. Caleb, Bears, they've got a revamped. They got a lot of. It's like I still don't know, but I know what the Lions are. I mean, everybody else in the division does too. They know what the Lions are, and I get the coordinator change. I think defensively it doesn't. We're going to be so much better defensively with a fully healthy unit and just a fresh voice on defense. Offensively, how can we fail offensively? I would love to know that. It's just Amon-Ra St. Brown. I don't have to list them. I will. I'm gonna. Jameer, David Montgomery, Sam Laporta, J-Mo, Goff. Unless the offensive line is so bad we can't do anything, but yeah, I mean, come on. There's no way. All right. Let's look at the Packers. Packers 9.5 wins. And that's true. I mean, they will, right? And that's the thing about them that's just so annoying is they beat the teams they should, and they just kind of hang around. Look at this, though. Vikings, 9.5 by Sportsbook, which is weird. And you go down here, though, best bets, Vikings under 9.5 wins. Seriously. Without an established quarterback, Minnesota has opted for the next best team-building strategy. Load up the roster while McCarthy's on a rookie deal. That approach paid off this spring when they earned A+ grade for aggressive free agency moves. Still, McCarthy enters the league with limited experience as a volume passer. At Michigan, he wasn't often carried. So we know. I don't have to read all that. At Michigan, he was just on a star-studded team. Man, and he would run the ball. Literally ran the ball every play against Penn State. I love you, man, but I hope it doesn't work with Minnesota. All right, let me know your thoughts in the comments. We'll see all of you on the next one.